Let's do this. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Low End University. You guys really want me to check out Rancid's song Maxwell Murder, which is the opening track on their third studio album, And Out Come the Wolves, released in 1995. And I really didn't know this. I don't know much about Rancid, but they are credited alongside Green Day and The Offspring as being among the wave of bands that revived mainstream interest in punk rock in the United States in the mid-90s. And as I mentioned in the Green Day video, I don't have a lot of experience listening to punk. I guess pop punk might be something different. Of course, I've heard Green Day and Blink-182, so this will be a first-time listen for me, and I'm very intrigued at the 1 minute and 25-second track length. So I'm reading it's a bass solo here in the comments. It's an opener for the album, so let's jump in for a quick one. Rancid, Maxwell Murder. All right. It's a quick one.
Maxwell gets us in hell. This one you've been so near. Same old game that he's playing. His souls are never fair. Nobody wanna look back. Everybody wanna get out of that right one at a time. Where's the film? Yes, I'm a bum. Let's name it a close over there. That's crime. 999 if you really want the truth. Now 999 if you can say it through. He is Jack the Ripper. He's ordinary.
You can't help but smile. This is fun. Love those little walking lines. Okay, not a lot of time to pause, and we're almost done already. This is a really cool, just like snippet of fun, feel-good punk attitude rock. I've heard bands like this. Rancid is just one I've alluded, and this almost kind of reminds me of the bass playing in some other ska bands I really got into. Less Than Jake was a random band in my musical upbringing I kind of latched onto. And not that ska and Rancid here are the same, but it's that high energy bass playing where the tone cuts, it's fast, it's in your face, but it almost sounds like more than just the tone choice. It's like they actually played it very intensely. It's like you can just hear they're playing it really hard. There's something about the energy that brings to the final recording. So right here, we're going between sounds like A, D, G. I'm going to back it up a bit, get this progression down. I hear an F natural in there, but then we're in D major with the F sharp. So it's kind of pivoting between chords. I wouldn't expect punk bands to give a shit about the music theory. This is just what I do in the videos, but sounds like we're using a pick, I assume. But I love the way punk, and I've said this in the Green Day video too, that they took the feel and the effect of walking bass lines and put it into heavier music. Let me let the song play out because I want to get the whole thing, and then we'll go back. Okay. Uh-oh. Holy shit. I did not expect that. I'm tickled. Whoa. Okay, I thought that was just going to be like a quick, here's a little 1, 2, 3 chorus with some great bass playing. And I was totally happy with that. I didn't expect like a bass solo, like an actual solo. I just thought this meant was like a piece that featured the bass. But the walking bass lines are what really grabbed me here. Love how he's putting that chromatic passing tone in there just to get 4 beats going from C to G to C. Because if you take out that chromatic passing tone, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You're getting there early. Great technique to use. You put in an out-of-key note just on the way to your destination, going from C to G. He'll throw that F sharp in there just to give it a classic walking bass passing tone, leading tone, which is a half step down from where you want to end up, which would be the G. And the notes coming down are a little bit different. It kind of gives some variation. I got C, E, F, F sharp, G going up, and then C, F, E, D. I'm sorry, C, G, F, E, D, C. Wow, that was a dyslexia moment. So yeah, the variation on that walk up is cool. Just gives it a little bit of different feel going up then coming down right here. Yeah. Guess we'll take this phrase by phrase. That's cool too, because we're on the F here. So if we're on F and he's going between that E and the F, he's sort of hitting, I guess you would call it the major 7 under it, which is really functioning as the same thing as that F sharp in the last phrase. It's a leading tone. And going a half step away from the leading tone back and forth makes it a little edgy. You feel that kind of rub. And that's just very punk rock to me in a way. So that phrase... Yeah. A, F. Back to A.
Maxwell got in his plan. He knows the job is planned. Drop rock before you bought it. Since Maxwell knows you got it. Nobody wanna look back. Everybody wanna get hot. 911 at a time. Where's the felon? John the felon. Name of the football from that crime. 999 if you really want.
Back to that same phrase. Yeah. A little triplet there, kind of a quarter note triplet, really mixes up that driving feel. It's funny because the last video I just did, I talked a lot about walking bass lines, and the premise I was making in that video was that walking bass lines, you're always living a couple beats in the future. So if we're in E and we go to A, to get from E to A is how you make those two chords glue together, if you will. Going from E to A, you got 4 beats to get there. Versus just playing E 4 times and then A 4 times. There's really no direction going. When you could walk it up from E to A and kind of drive it and lean into it. It's really funny. I did not expect to hear walking bass lines worth mentioning in this song. We just did that on yesterday's video. But great way to kind of feel the chord changes happen in real time. And if you want to check out more insight on walking bass lines, check out my Christmas video I did this past week. Let's keep going. Get to this bass solo. It almost, in a way, reminds me of kind of like a Geddy Lee solo in the sense that the note choices are very safe, but the amazing part about it is the crazy cool rhythmic and phrasing and groove. And for some reason, I'm linking this to a Geddy Lee video I did recently, Leave That Thing Alone, where he took a solo at the end, and it kind of was the same note groups here. And it's not about the notes, it's the crazy cool phrasing. It's tough to take 4 notes and make them sound interesting. You know, a lot of times when we take solos, we're thinking more notes, scales, run the scales, do every scale and iteration of it you can think of. It's like a quantity over quality thing in terms of note choices. But the key is when you take just a couple notes, 3 or 4 notes, and make the rhythms more complicated, I think that makes for a much better part. I think it's a little catchier, easier to latch onto. Because I could play a bass solo. That sucks, right? If I took 3 or 4 notes and kind of went... That's a little more catchy. I'm just kind of sticking in a couple notes and relying on my phrasing. That's what this reminds me of. Go back and hear it. It kind of starts here on the C and the A. Go back. So fast. I hear that. And the thing that's hard to recreate with finger style as far as that goes, I'm not going to attempt this with a pick. I'm much more of a finger player. But you can kind of hear that he's picking a constant, let's say 16th note, just up, just alternate strokes going between these strings. No matter what notes he's plugging in, with the fretting hand, he keeps that pulse going. And it's like he's just going ticka, 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 and he's just filling in notes. And that's essentially what you would do playing a fast passage. But I like that you can kind of hear those muted notes in between there. It gives it a really chopped up feel and makes it sound a lot harder than it actually is or might be. That sounds hard to me, but it's giving that faster than it is thing, which is a really cool technique. Listen to it, and if you can really hear that pick part. I mean, that's badass. That's really hard to do and make sound that way. Have the note synchronization between both hands, and it's a little rougher on the edges. You can kind of hear some notes cut off a little early, but it's the intensity and the attitude. It's just, when this came up, being my first listen, I was like, wow, really cool stuff. That little catch with the drums at the end there, on the upbeats. That's cool. Whoa. Well, I think I'm a Rancid fan now. This is a great place to start, and I'm late to the game on punk. Just true punk. This is what that sounds like to me. And I can kind of see how poppier punk scenes evolved around this sound, if my chronology is right. But this sounds very raw. It's kind of barking into the vocals. Its intensity, its attitude. And that's what that bass solo kind of embodied. It just took the whole built-up angst of this very quick song and just exploded with a flurry of picked bluesy stuff going between A and D. I heard a lot of, but he's just doing that really fast picking and just kind of filling in the notes, giving it this really scratchy, really digging in. And my favorite thing about this style of bass playing in this scene is the bass tones are awesome. They have a lot of teeth on them. And sure, they're probably mixed more forward, but I love how it just brings the whole song up. It makes it very on edge and like you just want to explode. The bass tone, I think, adds that energy. And that's kind of what I gleaned from getting into Less Than Jake, which again, just a random band I really latched onto. I think I found their soundtrack from an old PlayStation 1 skateboard game. If anybody remembers that made me pay attention to the bass too. And it's a very forward instrument in the genre. So it's something I need to go back and rediscover because as I get older as a bass player, I just love appreciating styles of playing that are kind of foreign to me. The whole attitude and approach is just like a machine. So thank you guys. Rancid, Maxwell Murder. I feel like, again, this is a great place to start with the band. Let me know what else I should check out. I have a lot more bands in this scene coming up by request, and thank you again for requesting it. Please make sure you're subscribed, like the video. A lot of you watching aren't subscribed. It's like 90% of you. Please hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. I love you all so much. Cheers, and we will see you next time.